Hi readers, welcome back to my channel, Lila Wanders and Reads, and welcome to a book haul. Lee here. Now, before we get started, so yesterday I was going back on my early YouTube videos to kind of catalog the books that I've talked about. So I don't do too many repeats. I'll probably do some repeats from time to time, but anyway, so I was writing it all down. And I know, yeah, maybe I could have put it on a computer or something, but then I would have to go between the video, which I had to rewatch because I didn't list at the very beginning the books that I talked about in the description box. So then I would have to go back and forth between two tabs, and I just didn't want to do that, and this was easier. But boy, I bought some books since I started YouTube. So I decide for the rest of the year, new releases, and if Barnes & Noble's does a triple points weekend, then I'll allow myself to splurge. And of course, for Labor Day weekend, Barnes & Noble's has triple points, and I spent way too much at the bookstore. But that is not this book haul. This is last week's book haul. And I'm really excited about some of these books, really excited about the first one that I learned about on social media. I did not know this existed out there, but Stephen King or someone posted on, I think it was Twitter, Stephen King's Hearts in Suspension, with essays by college classmates and friends. Let me find my glasses. So this is the 50th anniversary. This publication marks the 50th anniversary of Stephen King's entrance into the University of Maine at Orono in the fall of 1966. The accelerating war in Vietnam and great social upheaval at home exerted a profound impact on students of the period and deeply influenced King's development as a writer and a man. So this has got Hearts in Atlantis, which is a novella, and I thought that it was also a book, so I'm going to have to do my little research on this. It also has 12 fellow students and friends from King College days contribute personal narratives recalling their own experience of those years. I'm really excited to get to this. This has got the novella, it's got pictures. Really, this is kind of a anti-Vietnam War memorandums. This is going to be such a fascinating read. I don't know when I will get to it, but it has got a place of honor at my table. Also, on messing around on social media, I stumbled across a new release, That Librarian by Amanda Jones. This is the fight against book banning in America. As you know, if you watch my channel, I am very anti-book banning. This book I probably would have just passed by, except that it's set in Louisiana, which is where my family is originally from. And let's dive in. One of the things small-town librarian Amanda Jones values most about books is how they can affirm a young person's sense of self. So in 2022, when she caught wind of a local public hearing that would discuss book content, she knew what was at stake. Schools and librarians nationwide have been bombarded by demands for books with LGBTQ plus references, discussions of racism, and more be purged from the shelves. Jones refused to stand by and have these stories banned in her community. She spoke out that night at the meeting. Days later, she woke up to a nightmare that is still ongoing. Amanda Jones has been called a groomer, a pedo, and a porn pusher. She has faced death threats and attacks from strangers and friends alike. Her decision to support a collection of books with diverse perspectives made her a target for extremists using book banning campaigns funded by dark money organizations and advanced by hard-right politicians in a crusade to make America more white, straight, and Christian. But Amanda Jones wouldn't give up without a fight. She sued her harassers for defamation and urged others to join her in the resistance. So, because I have a history with Louisiana, I am definitely looking forward to reading this. This will go up to read soon. This has got like actual screenshots of some of the things that they're said about her. So look forward to this. Okay. My nose is running. It's allergies. Oh. So next up is The Madness by Dawn Kurtagich. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I love this. This book, I follow on Patreon Sadie Hartman, aka Mother Horror. Every week, every day of the week, she sends out either new releases on Tuesdays or just other recommendations, themes, and tropes. This was, I think, a new release. Copyright 2024. So I think this is one of the new releases. In The Madness, beware what waits in the shadows. With one unexpected email from her estranged best friend Lucy, Mina Murray's carefully curated life is turned upside down. Suspending her psychiatric practice in London, she returns home to the windswept shores of Wales. That's a tongue twister. Faced with everything she's left behind, she soon discovers that Lucy's symptoms mirror those of her mysterious amnesiac patient hundreds of miles away. With nothing but an untreatable sickness connecting the two women, and with Lucy's life on the line, Mina finds herself asking questions and being drawn ever deeper into a web of secrets, missing girls, and the powerful, nameless force at its center, one that has been haunting her for years. As terrible ancient truths begin to reveal themselves, Mina prepares to confront her own darkest secrets, and with them, an evil beyond comprehension. Together with a group of smart, savvy women, Mina seizes one last, desperate chance to stop the cycle that began so long ago. But there are dangers to inviting the intentions of what might not be a man, but a monster. This feels like cold weather, hot cup of something reading right here. I'd even settle for like a gray, rainy day. That's the kind of mood I want for this book when I read this. I feel like I bought something really similar in this recent book haul. So the next book, also I was driven to purchase this because of a Mother Horror post on Patreon. That is Susan Hill's The Woman in Black. This is a classic ghost story. Arthur Kipps is an up-and-coming London solicitor. I really like books set in London or the UK. Who is sent to Crythan Gifford, a faraway town in the windswept salt marshes beyond Nine Lives Causeway, to attend the funeral and settle the affairs of a client, Mrs. Alice Drablow of the Eelmarsh house. Mrs. Drablow's house stands at the end of the causeway, wreathed in fog and mystery, but Kipps is unaware of the tragic secrets that lie hidden behind its sheltered windows. The routine business trip he anticipated quickly takes a horrifying turn when he finds himself haunted by a series of mysterious sounds and images: a rocking chair in a deserted nursery, the eerie sound of a pony in a trap, a child's scream in the fog, and most terrifying at all, a ghostly woman dressed all in black. This book was turned into a movie called Daniel Radcliffe. I don't think I've seen it. I might have and just forgotten about it. But I probably will read this and watch the movie around the same time. Not sure where you can stream it, but I will find it. The only thing probably negative about this, I would have to say, is it looks like it has long chapters, and I'm not a long chapter person, but it's 163 pages, so this next book, I think, was a new release. Again, Mother Horror was my source for this, but I bought this, and I'm going to talk about this one second, actually. And when I went to look up the author, I realized that her first novel, Where Ivy Dares to Grow by Marielle Thompson, is a gothic horror time travel novel, and I was like, sold! I could not buy this. So I ended up buying this and her, I believe it's a new release. These blurbs on the back are very, very small. So again, on go my glasses. In Where Ivy Dares to Grow, traveling to be with her fiancé's terminally ill mother in her last days, Circe, I don't know how to pronounce Gaelic words. Circe. Anyway, expected her introduction to the family's ancestral home would be bittersweet. But the stark thrust of Langdon Hall against the cliff and the 100 darkened windows in its battered walls are almost as forbidding as the woman who lies wasting inside. Her fiancé's parents make no secret of their distaste for Circe, and their feelings have, if you know how to pronounce that, let me know down in the comments below, and their feelings have long since spread to their son. Or perhaps it is only the shadows of her mind suggesting she's unwelcome, seizing on her fears while her beloved grieves. As Circe takes to wandering the estate's winding, dreamlike gardens, overgrown and half wild with neglect, she slips back through time to 1818. There, she meets Theo Page, a man like her fiancé, but softer, with all the charms of that gentler age, and who clearly harbors a fervent interest in her. As it becomes clear that Theo is her fiancé's ancestor, and the tenuous peace of Langdon Hall crumbles around her, Circe finds she's no longer sure which dreams and doubts belong to the present and which might not be dreams at all. The only thing that I can see, like possibly negative, is over-romanticizing the past. We don't live there. If we went to the past, we would find it much different than our present and possibly much more brutal. But we'll see where this author takes us, because I can't resist a time travel novel. So the more recent book, I think this was a new release. It looks like it maybe just came out in paperback. That is The Last Witch of Edinburgh, also by Marielle Thompson, also with really small print on the back. In an alternate Edinburgh of 1824, every woman lives in fear that she will be the next one hanged for witchcraft. All it takes is invoking the anger or the desire of the wrong person. Nellie Duncan, beautiful and unwed, keeps to herself until she encounters the Ray Women's Apothecary. There, fiery Jean Ray and the other women provide cures and teach others that they too can aid the winter deity, the Cailleach, embracing her characteristic independence, agency, and craft, in turn becoming witches themselves. Nellie finds a place and a purpose at the shop, and a blossoming romance with Jean as she learns about nature-based craft and a witch's ability to return to life after death. But the Cailleach has an ancient enemy intent on stripping the power of the deity and all her witches, leaving a wake of patriarchal violence and destruction. When heartbreaking disaster strikes, Nellie flees and spends the next 2 centuries, hiding from the world until love gives her the courage and the motivation to come back. Nellie's past is waiting for her there, and hanging witches is no longer the only means of oppression. But this time, Nellie refuses to run, either from her foes or from her resolve to awaken others to the unimaginable power that can come with fighting the patriarchy in its many forms and finding one's own magical inner strength. So, 1824, 1924, 2024? 2022 is when she comes back. I am going to try to read this soon because this looks real good. Real good. Fingers crossed. Only one more book in this book haul. We'll go ahead and say last month because it was actually 2 weeks ago, but this will air on September 4th. I read My Friends by Hisham Matar. That is a book, I read it because I'm doing a project to read not all of them, but several, quite a few actually, of the books on the Booker long list. The short list will be announced on the 16th of September, I believe, and I'm hoping that I will have read many by that point of the books on the short list. I'm really hoping My Friends is on the short list because I absolutely loved it. I connected almost, not instantly, but within a few pages with the author. He really spoke to me. So because of that, I bought another novel by him, In the Country of Men by Hisham Matar. Whoever the bookseller was from Amazon put a sticker over the ISBN code, and I am mad about that. And I don't need my glasses for this one. So, like My Friends, which is going to go down as one of my favorite books of the year, In the Country of Men is set around Libya. Libya, 1979. 9-year-old Suleiman's days are circumscribed by the narrow rituals of childhood. Outings to the ruins surrounding Tripoli, games with friends played under burning sun, exotic gifts from his father's constant business trips abroad. But his nights have come to revolve around his mother's increasingly disturbing bedtime stories, full of old family bitterness. And then one day, Suleiman sees his father across the square of a busy marketplace, his face wrapped in a pair of dark sunglasses. Wasn't he supposed to be away on business yet again? Why is he going into that strange building with the green shutters? Why did he lie? Suleiman is soon caught up in a world he cannot hope to understand, where the sound of the telephone ringing becomes a portent of the grave danger, where his mother frantically burns his father's cherished books, where a stranger full of sinister questions sits outside in a parked car all day, where his best friend's father can disappear overnight, next to be seen publicly interrogated on state television. So I really look forward to this. I love his writing style. Like I said, I really connected with My Friends. And I want to read more of Hisham Matar. That is it for my book haul this time. As always, I will put links to all of these but one down in the description box. Links to bookshop.org where you can purchase them. Bookshop.org. If you purchase through bookshop.org, it contributes to independently owned bookstores, and also if enough people do, I might get some change back, but it should only be change, like toward a next book. The one I won't is if I can find a link to it on the University of Maine press page, I will put a link to the Stephen King book. I can't imagine that they've all been snapped up. Surely they knew people would want them. I wanted it. Anywho, Have you read any of these books? If you have, let me know. What are your thoughts on Gothic? Because I had several Gothic-ish books in here. I'm going to put this one in the Read Soon stack right next to me. Love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below. I do try to respond to every comment. So if you've got questions, if you've got comments, love to hear them. That is it for me. Happy reading.